You don't wake up one day and suddenly become a low-value man. It doesn't happen like that. There's no single failure, no dramatic collapse, no moment where everything explodes. What happens instead is quieter, slower, almost invisible. You start letting things slide. You skip the workout just this once. You delay the work just today. You tolerate behavior you know you shouldn't. You make excuses you used to judge in other men, and nothing bad happens right away, so you tell yourself you're fine. That's how it starts. Becoming a low-value man isn't about money, women, status, or looks. It's about something much harder to admit. It's about losing control of yourself while pretending you haven't. Your standards drop, your discipline weakens, your self-respect erodes in small, comfortable ways. Not because life crushed you, but because you stopped demanding more from yourself. And here's the part most men miss. You don't feel like a failure when this is happening. You feel normal. You still function, you still get by, you still explain things away. But deep down, there's a quiet voice telling you something is off. You're not becoming stronger, you're becoming softer. And the longer you ignore that voice, the louder life gets. This video isn't here to insult you, it's here to confront you. Because every man watching this is on one of two paths right now. Either you're building momentum, or you're slowly leaking it. Today, we're going to expose the signs most men miss until it's too late. Not to shame you, but to give you a chance to correct course while you still can. Because the most dangerous thing a man can do is convince himself nothing is wrong, while everything important is slipping away. Let's begin. Sign 1. You avoid discomfort instead of facing it. The first sign doesn't look dangerous, that's why it works. You start choosing the easy option more often. Not because you're weak, but because you're tired, comfortable, distracted. You avoid hard conversations, you avoid physical strain, you avoid situations where you might feel exposed, challenged, or uncomfortable, and you justify it. I'll deal with it later, it's not that serious, I deserve a break. Here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Discomfort is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you teach your mind a lesson. You tell it that relief matters more than growth. At first, it feels harmless. Skipping one workout doesn't ruin your body. Delaying one difficult task doesn't destroy your future. But avoidance compounds. One skipped workout becomes a habit. One avoided conversation becomes resentment. One delayed decision becomes a pattern of indecision. Over time, your life starts shrinking around what feels easy. You stop pushing your limits. You stop testing yourself. You stop doing the things that once made you feel capable. And that's when confidence quietly dies. Not because you failed, but because you stopped proving to yourself that you can endure discomfort. Low-value men don't lack potential. They lack tolerance for discomfort. They build lives designed around convenience. They structure their days to avoid friction. They choose short-term relief over long-term strength. A high-value man does the opposite. He doesn't seek pain for ego. He accepts discomfort as the price of self-respect. He understands something critical. Growth never feels good in the moment. It feels heavy, it feels awkward, it feels inconvenient. But every time he voluntarily steps into discomfort, he sends a message to himself. I can handle hard things. That message changes everything. So here's the fix. Start small, but start intentionally. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Have the conversation, finish the task, show up even when you don't feel like it, not to impress anyone, but to rebuild trust with yourself. Because once a man starts avoiding discomfort, responsibility is the next thing he runs from. And that leads directly to the second sign. Sign 2. You blame circumstances instead of correcting yourself. This is where the slide becomes dangerous. Because now, instead of avoiding discomfort quietly, you start explaining why things aren't your fault. You blame timing, you blame people, you blame the system, the economy, your past, your upbringing. And on the surface, some of those reasons may even be true. But here's the problem. The moment you externalize responsibility, you give up power. Low-value men talk a lot about what happened to them. High-value men focus on what they're going to do about it. Blame feels good because it protects your ego. It tells you you're not the problem. But it also tells your mind something far more dangerous. That's out of my control. And once you believe that, you stop trying. You stop correcting behaviors. You stop tightening standards. You stop asking hard questions about your own decisions. You become reactive instead of deliberate. Life happens to you. You don't happen to life. This is why complaining is such a red flag. Complaining isn't venting, it's rehearsing powerlessness. Every time you complain without taking action, you reinforce the identity of someone who waits instead of builds. And waiting feels safe. You don't risk failure, you don't risk judgment, you don't risk responsibility, but you also don't progress. A man who blames circumstances will always feel behind, because deep down he knows he's not doing what he could be doing. A A high-value man doesn't pretend life is fair. He just refuses to use unfairness as an excuse. He asks a different question. What part of this is my responsibility? Even when the situation isn't his fault, even when the odds are against him. That mindset is what restores control. So here's the fix. Stop explaining. Start correcting. When something isn't working, don't ask who's to blame. Ask what you can adjust. Your habits, your effort, your standards, your environment. The moment you take ownership, even imperfect ownership, you regain momentum, and momentum changes how you see yourself. But once responsibility is avoided long enough, men look for something else to fill the emptiness. That's when they start chasing validation instead of substance, and that's the third sign. Sign 3. You seek validation instead of building substance. This sign is subtle. It doesn't look like weakness. It looks like confidence. You start caring a little too much about how you're seen. You want approval, recognition, attention. Not because you're arrogant, but because something inside feels unfinished. Low-value men don't lack ambition. They lack grounding, so they chase validation to feel whole. Likes replace progress. Attention replaces respect. Being noticed replaces being capable. You post instead of practice. You talk instead of build. You perform instead of improve. And the worst part, validation works temporarily. It gives you a hit of reassurance without requiring growth. You feel acknowledged without having to earn it, but it doesn't last. The moment the attention fades, the insecurity comes back, stronger than before. That's why men trapped in validation loops always need more approval, more compliments, more reactions. Their confidence depends on an audience. A high-value man operates differently. He builds quietly. He understands that real confidence doesn't come from being seen. It comes from knowing what you're capable of when no one is watching. He invests in skills, in health, in discipline, in competence. Not because it looks impressive, but because it changes how he carries himself. Validation seeking creates fragility. Substance creates stability. Here's the fix. Shift your focus from appearance to ability. Ask yourself, what am I actually improving right now? What skill am I sharpening? What standard am I holding even when no one checks? Limit exposure to things that make you perform instead of progress. Use silence as training. Let results speak later. Because a man who builds substance doesn't need constant validation. He moves with certainty. But when substance is missing, another pattern emerges. Discipline becomes inconsistent. And that's the fourth sign. Sign 4. Your discipline is inconsistent. This is where most men lie to themselves. They say they're disciplined. They say they're trying. They say they'll lock in soon. But their actions don't line up. They start strong, then disappear. They commit, then drift. They make promises to themselves, then quietly break them, not once, repeatedly. Inconsistent discipline is worse than no discipline at all. Why? Because every broken promise damages your self-trust. Your mind starts keeping score. You tell yourself you'll wake up early. You don't. You say you'll stick to the plan. You don't. You promise this time is different. It isn't. Over time, something shifts. You stop taking your own words seriously. That's when confidence collapses. Low-value men rely on motivation. They work when they feel like it. They show up when it's convenient. High-value men rely on structure. They remove decision-making. They create routines. They operate on standards, not emotions. Discipline isn't intensity. It's reliability. It's doing the same basic things on bad days, average days, and good days. The reason inconsistency feels harmless is because nothing breaks immediately. But internally, something important erodes. Your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who follows through, and that belief leaks into everything else. Your work, your relationships, your self-respect. Here's the fix. Lower the bar, but never skip it. Stop trying to overhaul your life. Set non-negotiables you can keep even on your worst days. One workout, one focused work block, one disciplined action daily. Consistency builds credibility with yourself. And once self-trust returns, so does momentum. But discipline alone isn't enough if the people around you are dragging you backward. That's the fifth sign. Sign 5. You keep low-standard people around you. This sign feels uncomfortable to admit because it forces you to look at your environment, not just yourself. The people you spend the most time with shape what feels normal, not through pressure, through exposure. Low-value men stay around people who don't challenge them, people who normalize excuses, people who laugh at ambition and mock discipline, not because they're bad people, but because they're familiar. Familiarity feels safe and safety feels like loyalty, so men stay. They tolerate conversations that go nowhere, they accept habits that lead nowhere, they remain in circles where growth is optional, and slowly standards drop. You start talking less about goals, you stop pushing yourself as hard, you soften your edge to fit in, A high-value man understands a hard truth. You cannot rise in an environment that rewards stagnation. Energy transfers, mindsets spread, standards leak. If your circle complains, you'll start complaining. If your circle avoids responsibility, you'll justify avoiding it too. This is why men get stuck for years without realizing why. They're loyal to people who don't want to grow, and loyalty without alignment becomes self-betrayal. Here's the fix. Audit your environment honestly. Ask yourself, do these people make me sharper or slower? Do they push me forward or keep me comfortable? Sometimes growth requires distance, not drama, not arguments, just space. A high-value man chooses his environment deliberately. He doesn't need many people. He needs the right ones. And when the right people aren't available, he chooses solitude over sabotage, because being alone is better than being surrounded by limits. But even with discipline and the right environment, one problem can still undo everything: disrespect for time. And that's the sixth sign. Sign 6, you don't respect your own time. This sign exposes everything, because how you use your time is how you value your life. Low-value men don't usually think they waste time. They think they're just relaxing, resetting, or killing time. But look closer. Hours disappear scrolling. Days blur together without progress. Weeks pass with nothing concrete to show for them. Not because they're lazy, but because they're unfocused. When a man doesn't respect his time, it's usually because he doesn't respect himself. He says yes too easily. He allows constant interruptions. He reacts instead of plans. His schedule belongs to everyone else. And the dangerous part, time misuse doesn't feel painful in the moment. It feels comfortable. That's why it's so easy to ignore. But deep down, there's a quiet stress that never goes away. A sense that life is slipping by faster than it should. A high-value man treats time like a non-renewable resource, because it is. He understands that every hour he wastes is an hour he never gets back, so he protects it. Not aggressively, not arrogantly, deliberately. He creates space for what matters. He limits what drains him. He plans his days instead of drifting through them. Here's the fix. Start tracking where your time actually goes, not where you think it goes. Be honest, then cut ruthlessly. Reduce meaningless consumption. Set boundaries around distractions. Stop giving your best hours to things that give nothing back. You don't need to be busy, you need to be intentional, because a man who controls his time controls his direction. And when direction disappears, standards are the next thing to fall. Which brings us to the final and most dangerous sign. Sign 7. You stop demanding more from yourself. This is the most dangerous sign, because by the time it shows up, most men don't even realize it's happening. You stop pushing, not because you failed, but because you settled. You lower expectations so you don't have to feel disappointed. You shrink your goals so you don't have to risk missing them. You tell yourself you're content, when really, you're just tired of trying. This is where men don't collapse, they fade. They still function, they still show up, they still get by. But the edge is gone. The hunger that once drove you disappears. You stop holding yourself to a standard. You stop asking, what more can I become? Low-value men call this peace, but it isn't peace. It's surrender disguised as acceptance. A high-value man understands something uncomfortable. Growth is not optional, it's required. The moment you stop demanding more from yourself, life starts demanding less from you. Responsibility shrinks, opportunities dry up, respect fades, not because the world is cruel, but because standards attract weight. Men who demand little are given little. Here's the fix. Raise your internal standards again, not loudly, not publicly, privately. Decide what kind of man you refuse to become. Decide what behaviors you no longer tolerate from yourself. Decide what your minimum standard is and stick to it. This doesn't require motivation. It requires commitment. Because self-respect isn't built through big moments. It's built through daily enforcement of standards. And once you re-establish those standards, everything else starts to align. But awareness alone isn't enough. You need a way to reclaim your value deliberately. That's what the final section is for. How to reclaim your value and keep it. Here's the truth most men never hear clearly. Every man develops low-value habits at some point. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. What separates men who rise from men who stagnate is not talent, luck, or confidence. It's awareness followed by action. If parts of this video made you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Discomfort is awareness waking up, because you cannot fix what you refuse to face. Reclaiming your value doesn't require a dramatic transformation. It doesn't require quitting your life, disappearing, or reinventing yourself overnight. It requires alignment. Your actions aligning with your standards aligning with your values aligning with the man you respect. Start with control. Control what you do every day, what you consume, what you tolerate, what you postpone. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It protects your time. It protects your energy. It protects your future self from regret. Build structure before motivation. Structure survives bad days. Motivation doesn't. Create routines you don't negotiate with yourself about. Decide once. Execute daily. Cut what weakens you, not slowly, not someday, deliberately. Remove habits that drain your focus. Distance yourself from people who normalize stagnation. Reduce exposure to distractions that leave you empty. This isn't about isolation, it's about respect. Respect for your time. Respect for your potential. Respect for the fact that your life is finite. And most importantly, keep your word to yourself. Every promise you keep builds internal authority. Every promise you break erodes it. Self-respect is not confidence you feel, it's trust you earn. Finally, understand this. Your value is not determined by money, women, attention, or status. Those are outcomes. Your value is determined by how much control you have over yourself. A man who controls himself is dangerous in the best way. Calm, grounded, unshakable. So don't rush this, don't perform it, don't announce it. Just start. One disciplined action today. One standard enforced tomorrow. One habit corrected at a time. Because at the end of your life, the question won't be how much you had. It will be whether you became the man you knew you could be. And that choice is still yours. Conclusion. If you've watched this far, then something in this message wasn't just interesting, it was familiar. That's not an accident. Every man reaches a point where he has to decide whether he's going to drift or deliberately take control of his life again. Low value isn't a label, it's a direction. And the good news is, direction can be changed, not by motivation, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by making small, disciplined choices when no one is watching. You don't need to prove anything to the world. You don't need approval, validation, or permission. What you need is self-respect, rebuilt through action. So here's your challenge. Today, identify one habit that weakens you and cut it. One standard you've been avoiding and enforce it. One action you've been postponing and do it. Not tomorrow, today. If this video made you reflect, hit the like button so it reaches other men who need this message but won't hear it anywhere else. Subscribe if you're serious about self-mastery, discipline, and building a life you respect. And remember this, no one is coming to save you, but you don't need saving. You need structure and the willingness to become the man you know you're capable of being.